Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Real Madrid have just defeated Las Palmas 4-1 to go top of the league, and it is and overall it is a fantastic weekend to be a Madrid fan, right? Um, so not only did our biggest competitors drop points, and by competitors I don't just mean one team because you know how you said like there are rivals. I actually mean both of our competitors drop points, right? Barcelona tied, Atletico lost. It was a perfect weekend. We capitalized on the game because these are the type of games, man. Like we could look back at the end of the season and say this was a season-defining game for us, right? Because lately, what's been happening, and if you guys remember the past few months, bro, Barcelona have been on a shit run in La Liga. But what happened is every time, or the majority of the time, whenever they drop points, we did not capitalize. If we capitalized right now, we'd be in a much better position. But we just could not capitalize. Today we capitalized, and it was a great weekend to do so, right? So this puts us clear point, I believe 7 points ahead of Barcelona, and if I'm not mistaken, 2 points ahead of Atletico Madrid. So we're in a great position. It was a must-win game, and we went in there and we freaking won. We won. Um, Overall, it was a good match, but there was some things that I didn't like. But yeah, man. So first of all, let's just talk about Barcelona and Atletico Madrid. Right. So this season, man, first of all, Atletico Madrid did not begin the season the way that I thought they were going to. I thought adding Julian Alvarez was going to be just an overall great impact immediately. It did not work out that way. Right. He had to grow his legs. He had to, fit into the squad. Um, but now they're at a point where they're very, very competitive. I'm not sure. Like, both of them dropped points against teams that they shouldn't have dropped points against, and it was just a hugely advantageous for Madrid, right? Um, but Barcelona, man, it's weird. Like, how the hell can they go out? And I know the style of play is different and everything, but it's a crazy season when you could like thrash. Because that's again, like if you guys saw the thing, we did not have a good match. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. They thrashed us 5-2, and then they go and drop points, against a team that honestly they had no reason dropping points against. Um, but yeah, man. So we just had to take full advantage of this opportunity that both teams gave us to, and we had to capitalize on it, and that's exactly what we did. So there's no complaints from me here, right? As far as the match goes, we ended up, like I said at the beginning, we ended up winning 4-1. Could have very easily been more. There was a few offside calls during the game. Unfortunately, to me, the most clear cut offside goal came with the best goal, man. If that goal stuck, that would have been an amazing goal by Valverde, arguably the best striker from outside the box in world football right now. But it wasn't crazy strong. It was just perfectly placed, man. It was amazing. But the play right before that, it was offside, and it's inarguable. It was completely offside, man. But it's just one of those things like, damn, bro, like for real, like that was offside. It was crazy. The other two goals to me were a little bit more controversial. I don't think Rudiger's offside should have stood because at least from the replays that I saw, it didn't hit Rudiger, right? Now, yes, everyone's going for the ball, the defenders are going for the ball too. So you could kind of see how they called it because of interference. But to be honest, I don't think it should have been ruled offside. I really don't. I don't think it even hit Rudiger. From what I saw, it hit off a Las Palmas defender. It ricocheted into the other Las Palmas defender, and then it went out of bounds. Um, but yeah, I don't see how that should have been called an offside. But whatever. Um, yeah, man. Overall, it was a dominant performance. Mbappe has been kicking ass lately, man. It's been kicking ass. I still stand by everything that I said at the beginning of the season, up until honestly 2 or 3 weeks ago. I still wanted to see more from him. But he's starting to show that, and you can see he's landing on his feet. He's starting to get the hang of it. Because at the end of the day, man, it's not to say that PSG that League is a bad league overall, but there's levels to it, right? Like to me, La Liga is not as good as the Premier League, right? And just like that League is not as good to me as it is, as the Premier League, as Serie A at this point in time, or La Liga. So it was always gonna take some getting used to. It's just honestly, like there's no denying it took them a long time to fucking get used to it. A lot more than we thought anyway. By the way, I've just cursed like 3, 4 times. I'm trying, man. I'm trying. It just comes out. Um, but yeah, but overall, it wasn't a great match overall. Because I went to go drop some heat, um, and to make some coffee right before the game started. Right, so it was like 2 minutes before the game starts. I'm making my coffee. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna miss the first minute of the match, but whatever. Bro, I come back 30 seconds into the match. They're showing replays and replays. I'm like, oh damn, like so what happened? We were down by 1 goal. 30 seconds into the match. What the hell? And you see it. I don't think Asensio's a fault at all. He's guarding his the person who he's supposed to guard. I think just Vasquez just completely drops a ball on that one, right? And the thing is, like the commentators that I'm watching on ESPN, the commentators at the end of the game were making it seem like Las Palmas after those 30 seconds completely dropped off, but they didn't. For the first 5 minutes of the match, Las Palmas had a few more chances where they could have gone 2-0 up. So to me it's an issue of against a team like Las Palmas, all due respect, like I said, it's a great result overall, in a must win match. But it's not a very comfortable way to start against a team like Las Palmas, right? And the issue is that we got lucky that it was Las Palmas because the majority of the match after those 5 minutes, we were completely playing on the offensive. After that, we dominated the match through the entirety of the match. After those first 5 minutes. But the thing is, we do this, or no, we do it against every single team, and we cannot play like that. There was more than one time where I'm looking at Vasquez, literally, like not even in the attacking half, bro, like deep into like the attacking third, right? Like damn near close to the penalty area. And I'm like, bro, what the hell is he doing up there, bro? Like you're you're playing right now as a right back. Be a little bit more either towards the right or preferably towards the right and more back because that's where you're needed, bro. Like you're playing in defense. What are you doing up there so often? What are you doing up there so often, right? And but the thing is, like I mentioned in the video before, at the same time, like, can you really blame him? Like, he's a natural winger. Like that's what he does. He's a reverted. He's been playing in defense for a while now, right? But that's still not his natural position. His natural position is still to be a winger. But yeah, like I just think he was at fault for the first goal. Luckily, we didn't fall down 2-0. Because that would have killed. I'm sorry, I have a few notes over here. To me, the penalty, it was clear as day, right? It clearly just hit Rodrigo in the foot. I don't think there's really much argument about that. The ref overall, I think he missed a few calls for both teams, but overall, honestly, I can't really complain about it. He was overall very well, very good. And Mbappe just sank that penalty. Penalties are penalties, but there's a reason why people, top-notch people like Mbappe himself, like Messi, there's a reason why they don't sink every single penalty because it's still not a guaranteed goal. You still have to have composure. You still have to be able to dig the ball and drill it into the net. And it was a great penalty miss, man. Aside from that, my only issue with the starting lineup is that while Brahim today he had a decent game, I still think that Guler has just been shown more and more as opposed to Brahim in these past few weeks. Where if it comes to a toss up between both of them starting, I still just think Guler should be starting. There's nothing bad about Brahim. Like I said, today he had a great match overall. I just like overall, just based on merit and how they've been performing lately, I still think that Guler deserved that nod to start, before Brahim. Um, but yeah, man. And then I'm sorry, there was another point where Vasquez was so up front, right? It was a cross, and they headed it, and you could tell I was like, damn, that was a good try. It was just a little bit too high, but I thought it was Brahim. Next thing you know, they're like, oh, a Vasquez header. I'm like, damn, what the hell? That was Vasquez. What's he doing up there? Um, but yeah, bro. Aside from that, Mbappe had a great shot. Like because Brahim scored. Mbappe was playing honestly, bro. It was like Mbappe man of the match. He cooled off in the second half, but that first half, bro, he just dominated. There was no stopping him. And if we could get that from Mbappe going forward, it's gonna be great. But so. Like I was gonna say, so my issue with that is that we cannot play like this against the bigger teams because everything that we were doing was very offensive, but it's because it was a team. It was like, so without the respect, it was Las Palmas. We can do that because more than likely we're gonna completely outscore them. Um, like what was the case today? Like so, we could have had easily 2 or 3 more goals, but we can't be doing that against the big teams, and that's my only grind with it. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy for the win, but overall, just watching the game, we can't if we can't face like we can't face oh no, maybe not this year, but overall we can't face Liverpool like that. We can't face Man City like that regularly. Munich would wreck us. Barcelona wrecked us twice because we kept on playing like that. And it's just some things, man, where we just have to be more consistent. The forwards always have to come back more on defense. Today they didn't really have to because we dominated like from minute 5 going forward, like I mentioned before. So they didn't have that kind of responsibility where or we didn't get the chance to see their flaws on defense because to be honest, they didn't have to. They didn't have to come back on defense. But they have to when we face the bigger teams. They have to. There's no other way around it. Um Aside from that, to be honest, it was no overall straight up victory. I don't aside from those two things, and the one more thing I'm gonna say, which is the subs. Our players are tired, man. At the end of the day, we're gonna by the time summer comes around, we're gonna be playing in 7 competitions. These players need a rest because, like I mentioned in a few videos before, you can't just think of it as they play the games. They train every single day. They train like most players train a little bit more, a little bit in the morning before the match. Um, they warm up for about half an hour before the match too. Some players like professional like Ronaldo, they cool off after the match. So it's not just game like actual playing time for games that you have to consider. It's everything that they're doing to make sure that their bodies are in top peak position. And these players need rest. So when we're up 3-1, right? We're up by 2 goals. Why are you waiting till minute 75 to make these rotations, knowing that we have a very important game midweek in the Champions League against Salzburg that we have to win? We have to win this game. So I would have just taken him off a little bit earlier. Probably minute 60, I would have made an adjustment. I would have honestly, I understand why Mbappe was on fire. He probably wanted him to get his hat trick or give him the best chance. But Rodrigo hasn't been starting these past few matches. So honestly, thinking ahead to the Salzburg game, I would have taken off Mbappe like minute 60, putting Endrick. I would have left Rodrigo on, I think, because he hasn't been playing that often or hasn't been starting that often. He has the legs to, finish this game and start the Salzburg game. Um, but yeah, man. Overall, it was a great match. Alaba back, baby. Alaba was finally back after a year and a month. And they were saying something that I honestly didn't know. So apparently, it took him a lot longer to come back because they had to cut off a large amount of his cartilage in his knee. So, man, he's a great player. Hopefully, he can come back to 90% of what he was before. 90% David Alaba is better than a majority of the defenders in worldwide football, and we need that. We honestly need that at this point. Like I said, even though it was a little bit later, he used all the rotations. He gave a few stars to academy players, which is always good to see. Like I've always said, I believe the Madrid academy overall is, if it's not at the same level, it's right there with Barcelona's academy. The only difference is that while we sell most of the academy players and raise funds that way, Barcelona actually gives their players a chance to start and make an impression on the first team, which is something that even though I hate Barcelona with a passion, I gotta give him credit for doing that because it's great. And honestly, players can and while Madrid has always been known for having signing these Galacticos, it's good to see someone like Mbappe come in, something like that. But there's also something about just seeing your homegrown players go shine and thrive that it's just amazing to watch. So it's good to see these kids have a chance. Um, Asensio, again, to me, he was solid overall. Like I said, for the first goal, I don't think he's at fault because he was covering who he was supposed to cover. To me, like I said, it was mostly Vasquez. Um, but yeah, man, like overall, it was a great match. A a good match to win. To me, a season-defining match to win, especially when we have to take opportunity of those drop points, like I said, from Atletico Madrid and Barcelona. Um, but yeah, guys, we just have to keep on going this, man. We cannot let this go to waste. We have to keep on going. We have to keep on going, and we have to, take advantage of everything that we have. Now, aside from that, to me, the defense is still a big issue. The transfer window's it's more than halfway done. It's only about what 9, 10 days left in the transfer window. It doesn't look like we're gonna be getting Alfonso Davies. And the issue with Trent, man, I guess I don't think we should be going for Trent. Like I understand he's gonna be free, but Frimpong, Jeremy Frimpong to me is an overall better player. I believe I think he's like a year or two younger than Arnold. They're still both young, but that'll get you another 1 or 2 years of him being peak. He still has room to grow. Overall, I think he's a great. If Trent is like a 10 out of 10 attacker when it comes to someone coming from defense, Frimpong might be like a 9 out of 10. But to me, what he gives you defensively is as of now is more than what you get from Trent. And I believe he has room to grow, like and to become a player like Danny Carvajal, who was inarguably the best right back in the world last season, but to me has been overrated for the past 5, 6 seasons. He's just been overlooked. But Carvajal has always been very solid. Um, but yeah, man. great game from it from most of the players on the pitch, and yeah, we just have to keep this up. But how do you guys feel about the game now? How do you guys feel that the season's gonna end after a weekend like this? Because a weekend like this, like I said, could be season defining. Do you guys think we're gonna win the league? Can we go on and win the double? Can we go on and win the treble? Something that we've never done before, and that looked very possible with the arrival of Kylian Mbappe in the beginning of the year. Yeah, but we how do you guys feel about it? Let me know in the comments below. And until next time, hopefully next time I see you, I also have some good news, some good vibes, and hopefully we'll be one step closer to qualifying for the Champions League knockout rounds. But until the next one, guys, catch you later. Peace.